The world's strongest man, Mark Henry, is joining us. AEW is coming to the James L. Knight Center.
There he is.
On July 7th, coming up next week. So that's very exciting. He's also the host of the Busted Open on Sirius XM. Mark, thanks for the time. Really appreciate it.
Man, I appreciate you guys, man. We're going to come to Miami next week, and you better watch South Beach. Better watch it. Whenever wrestlers invade a city, it's truly an invasion.
Now, Leroy, do you want to ask Mark your question? You've been asking. You've been wondering this all day about him.
So you're the strongest man. There's no question about that. But I tell people, you are probably more proud of your athletic ability as a big man. So to be able to dunk, to be able to do wrestling, to be able to do all these athletic things, whereas most people just think strong guys just gonna be strong. Are you more impressed with being strong or being athletic as a big man?
You know what? I think that I have been more impressed with the fact that my athleticism. I'm the only person to ever win a world championship in 2 of the 3 lifting sports and be national champion 5 times in the other sport. So to be able to do all 3 sports at a high level, powerlifting, Olympic weightlifting, and strongman, is pretty damn impressive because it's different skill sets. It's, just because like sports with a net, volleyball has a net, tennis has a net, but backgammon has a net, or badminton, if you will. But they're not the same thing. And, to master them all means I put a lot of work in, but I do have that athletic thing. I'm one of those guys that's competitive too. I'll practice all day long.
Did you have when you got into professional wrestling, Mark? Like, did you find yourself having to tune up other types of things when it came to athleticism? Like when you train and you do it at the highest level and you have so much success in weightlifting, like what was that transition like? Like, what did you feel like you had to get better at to get through matches to have that kind of the energy that you guys put on just to put on a great show?
Well, endurance, because lifting is an anaerobic sport and wrestling is an aerobic sport. So I had to drop about 40 pounds at that beginning. I was still, 375 pounds, but my optimum weight wrestling was about 375. Later on, after a couple of injuries, I let myself get out of shape and, kind of ballooned up to 440. But, when I came down to about 400, I was still able to dunk. Like, one of the things that I was a basketball player first. But, you don't see many 6'4" centers in the NBA. So I had to focus on what I was good at. And, to be 400 pounds and to have a 34-inch vertical is pretty impressive.
So you're the original Zion.
Man, I wasn't nothing like that dude. I mean, I've seen some things. I've seen that gentleman do some stuff that no basketball player has been able to do.
Yeah, it's a wild thing. So you made this move over to AEW, which is it's run by Tony Khan, Jaguars owner. He's crazy about wrestling, and he's like, you guys are taking the world by storm. It's good to see WWE have some legit competition. I talked to Paul White last week. He's super hyped about it. So what was that transition like? You were in WWE for so long, but now you're off into this new company, and you guys, you have some real traction. People are tuning into you guys every week on TNT. People are blowing up with you guys on social media. So what was that move over there like?
It's pretty seamless. I'm well respected by the wrestling talent, and they know what I'm all about. They know what I'm good at, and I've had nothing but positivity. The wrestlers come up to me and they ask my opinion. The people in the office, they want to know what I feel like I can bring to the table, and they're allowing me to do that. And a lot of people are intimidated in the workplace when somebody comes in and says, I can do your job as good as you can. or better. And that don't exist at AEW. It's a well-oiled machine. Everybody wants to help everybody to make the business better. And if somebody else could do that job better, hey, Mark, boom, that's you. Go get it.
It's got to be a cool thing because it doesn't happen in a lot of professions. I mean, you look at any professional sport, every young player think he coming to get his. I'm coming to get mine. I don't care if it's Jordan. I'm coming to get mine.
Well, but that's the thing. My emphasis is more on the executive side, and on the, as a producer, if you will, of
Right.
pro wrestling. The coach is the term that they use, and I enjoy the coaching aspect of it. My days of having ambition about being champion are pretty much far gone. Now, you see all this gray in my beard?
Oh no, I got my own. I ain't got to look at yours. I got my own.
But you know what? Like if I came out of retirement once or twice and wrestled some young upstart, great. But for the most of it is I'm there to help make everybody better, push these young people to work like I worked, and I was crazy. Yeah, I guess that would be pretty easy to say, but some people, if you want to be great, you got to be that. You got to live for it. I sacrificed a lot. When I was in college, I never went on spring break. I was an Olympic athlete. I couldn't leave town for more than 48 hours.
Right.
So it's you got to be able to own it, hone your craft, and try your best to not allow somebody else on your team or any other team to be better than you. And that's just a greatness conversation.
So, Mark, do you come across this? Because I'm figuring, you being athletic as you are, do you ever come across trying to coach somebody and what happens to a lot of players who are good at what they do? When you coach them, look at them and say, you should be able to do this, when they aren't as good as you or weren't at the level of it you were, and have to take like a different approach to getting the best out of them.
You know what? I've had people say, well, that's easy for you to say. You were a world champion in 3 different things.
Right.
But that's not the way that I coach.
Okay.
I don't want, you look at it like this. The greatest players in the NBA, let's just use the NBA as an example. Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird. I don't think collectively they have a winning record. I know individually they don't. You cannot expect the person that you're mentoring or coaching to do what you did. You can only give them the words of wisdom and the template for how to become great. Now, I do a diagnosis and then I give you the cure. Okay, you're not in good enough condition. Let's fix that. Let's get in good enough condition. You're not flexible. Like let's get you more flexible as it relates to the body. But
right.
Then wrestling wise, I know 3 or 4 guys in pro wrestling that are skills guys. I want you to go spend a week periodically with these guys and let them teach you different tricks of the trade.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's on you as a talent. That's why Ben Simmons has an issue, because the stuff that he does works.
Right.
So now there's things that don't work. You take away the good, and what do you have?
Nothing. Right.
So now he's got to develop another set of skills. And when that time comes, then he's going to be a greater player because he has versatility and options of where to go when people stop doing one thing.
Well, we're talking to the great Mark Henry, world's strongest man. Join us. AEW is coming to the James L. Knight Center next week on July 7th. You guys can go check it out as they're putting on some great shows. They're back out on the road for the first time out of Jacksonville, so they're choosing Miami as the first stop, which is pretty awesome. And Mark, we were just talking last segment about Patrick Beverly losing his cool in the playoffs. He is ultimate. I mean, you want to talk about a wrestling heel in pro sports. He is the ultimate wrestling heel. He is the ultimate bad guy. But he shoves Chris Paul after Chris Paul is clearly going to the finals, loses his cool. Has Mark Henry, have you ever had a moment like that in wrestling? Maybe a guy is screwing up a match, he gets a little bit too froggy with you. Like, has there ever been a moment in your career where you just completely like saw red and lost it on somebody?
Yes, I have lost my cool, but I want to address this with Patrick Beverly and Chris Paul. Whatever Chris Paul said to him in that passing warranted him getting what he got. And I've had people, hey man, take that loss with you. I don't know what he said.
Right.
But he said something, hey man, enjoy your vacation.
Right. But here,
hope you have fun fishing.
But let's put a different spin on this. Say if Patrick Beverly been in his ear the whole game and saying stuff like that the whole game, because that's what Patrick Beverly does. He's a nuisance on the court. And then when it's over, and then Chris Paul says something to him back, you then can't react that way if that is your thing.
You can't. And he was wrong, and I guarantee you he's going to do what they said in Pulp Fiction. He's going to have a moment of clarity, and then he's going to realize that he screwed up because his own teammates are going to be like, hey, man, that was kind of messed up. You'll see that happen. He'll apologize eventually.
He did. He did it on Twitter.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I might have done it on social media too.
And wait, and Tobin said, why can't you just call the dude?
Yeah, why he can definitely get his number, Mark.
Well, because of what DeMarcus Cousins said on the bench. He's like, that's why nobody messes with you. Chris Paul is one of those guys like LeBron. They're the lightning rod of hate from a player because they act like they're the coach.
Yes, right. I get you.
Anybody that's ever been in a professional sport, there's always one guy on the team that's like, kind of talks to the guys like they're coaching.
Right.
And that pisses players off.
Right.
So it's a lot of guys that don't like Chris. So that's where all that stems from. You don't want to talk to him. You don't want to have a personal relationship with him. But I'm sure Chris has got enough friends. He's very rich.
he said, I got. Hey, now that's what. Look, he said, I don't need you as a friend. I got enough.
So the time you saw red, what was the time for you?
Oh man, I got hit in the face and got my orbit bone cracked.
Oh my God! In a match?
Mainly because the guy thought that I was coming in trying to steal his thunder, and my first impulse was to punch him, but I don't know why I did it, but I just kicked him in the balls.
Wait. Why did you, before you said that, you gave the look of shame? Because you know that's a man no, right? That's a no.
Proudest moment. I wish I had manly punched him in the face.
Right.
But I was a young kid and I was pissed and I'm bleeding out of my nose and bleeding out of my eye. And I just, as Eddie Murphy so eloquently put it, I kicked him in the ding ding.
You guys can see Mark Henry next week. AEW is coming to the James L. Knight Center. You guys can also listen to him on Busted Open on SiriusXM. Mark, where can people listen to you?
We're on channel 156 on SiriusXM right now.
Right now.
So I don't want to tell them to go, in the middle of your show, but we're on 7 days a week, guys. So SiriusXM channel 156. We're killing it. Can't wait. AEW, we can't wait and get to Miami. One of my favorite cities to visit. The food is always tremendous, and the entertainment is even better.
Mark Henry, thanks so much for the time, man. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, Mark.
Man, I appreciate y'all, man. Great show.
All right, thank you, Mark. That's the world's strongest man, Mark Henry. That was a real treat. I enjoyed that, man.
Wait, but look, he said, man, dude broke my orbital bone, and this he said, and he looked like this.